Okay, hi Kimberly. It's so nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited. You have been such a bright light in a sea of noise for me. There's so much going on social media. There's so much going on in the industry, and you have showed up consistently and always provided so much value to people that are watching you. So for anybody that doesn't know you, I would love for you to tell your story and talk a little bit about what you do and a bit about your brand.
Sure. Thank you so much. I adore you as well. For those that don't know, I met you, Christina, at a mastermind, and it was so funny because there was, 30 people in the room, and I was like drawn to you. It was like a magnet. And now getting to know you better, I was like, oh, because we were separated at birth. But I just love being around you because I feel like as a mom, it's already so hard to like win the day often when you start off and you have little ones at home because our kids, our girls are the same age and I'm another one. But I think it's really important that you are really wise about who you surround yourself with. And I'm really, really grateful that I consider you one of my business besties now. So anyways, I started on network marketing. That's where I got my roots in the entrepreneurial world 2.5 years ago. Really, my back was up against the wall. My good friend kept asking me to join her shampoo company. And I had zero interest. I'm from Grand Rapids. I lived there for many years, and Amway was big there. And so you would be pumping gas, and someone would walk up, and they're like, "You have a great personality." And you're like, "I haven't talked. Like, how do you know that?" So I had this like wall around it, and she kept asking me and asking me. And at the time, before I joined, I was in a really bad place personally. I had major issues with depression. I've always struggled with that my whole life. My kids at the time were 1 and 2.5. So I wasn't expecting the second one. I had postpartum with the first. And right before I had my second one, I lost my job. And it was like my big fancy corporate job. Like I was making almost, 6 figures with it. We built our dream home. We bought 2 brand new vehicles, which isn't smart. We had both of them in preschool, which we weren't used to those expenses. So we were in this really horrible place where I had no money coming in and had a new baby. And so I cashed in our 401k. Yeah, it was so stressful. I would lay at night, not because of a new baby, but because I didn't know how we're going to pay our mortgage, and we put everything on credit cards, and I got, freelance jobs and stuff, but I just wasn't there mentally. So finally I sucked it up and I took a local job at home in the area in my hometown, and huge pay cut. And I was commuting 1.5 hours there, pumping in the car. Yeah. Where's my mom's at? Oh, super fun. The people in traffic are like, WTF, what is that? And then I would drive an hour home after working all day. So I'd see him for about 45 minutes. I missed Elise's first steps. I would FaceTime into doctor's appointments because I was on commission. So I had to be at work. I sent Elise off to when she was like 9 months old, to preschool, daycare, with a fever because my husband couldn't get work off. And I was like, I got to figure something out. Let me get to work and get some stuff taken care of. I mean, just mom shame all around. So that's when my friend reached out to me. And this is just a reminder, if you have a girlfriend, you're like, she'd be awesome, and she's saying no to you, she's just saying no, not right now. Yeah. Because we don't know the stories. Like I wasn't going to tell her how bad I was. I also struggle with alcohol abuse. So for me, like I had to have that glass of wine to take the edge off when I would get home. And it started to be where I looked forward to it. Right. And I know like everyone has their,
I kind of look forward to it sometimes.
So Rachel Hollis defines it as, do you need it or do you want it? And I was like, I needed it. So
right.
For me, it was becoming where I just felt like I needed it. And I didn't feel like it was a healthy like glass of wine. It would turn into another and another. So I was struggling with that too. So in the spring of 2017, I saw her at a party and she's like, your hair sucks. Why don't you just try the product? And I was like, yeah, my hair does suck.
Way to pitch it.
Yeah. Cause she knew she's like, look, it's helping people grow hair. And I'm a yellow and a red personality, but I'm yellow. Like my first thing is helping people. I have PhDs in natural health and holistic nutrition because I want to like save the world, right? Like I'm yellow. And she's like, look at this kid. It had alopecia and its hair grew in. And I was like, really? Okay, I'll try your product. So she followed up in a different way. And it was the way I needed to hear it. So I tried the product and I was like, this is awesome. So I was like, look, I'm going to put my kid on a credit card, but I better make that money back before the statement comes in because we are debt free now. And like my husband, he can't know about this. So I'm like, I'll do whatever you say, And sure enough, I got all the bonuses and, tripled my initial investment. And so my first 6 months were pretty good. I was making enough money where I was like, maybe I could quit my job one day, like starting to get excited. And then I ran out of my warm market. Can anyone relate to that? where you're like, oh, I literally have nobody else to talk to. And I wasn't on social media. It was just in-person events. And I just couldn't travel around, and I couldn't do all the things that everybody was doing because my kids were so small and my husband traveled. So that fall, someone tagged me, thank you, Jesus. I don't know who it is, but someone tagged me on Marina Simone's video. I'd never seen her before. She was in a freaking hurricane, and she's like, hey guys, Marina Simone Moms and Heels coming in live. And I was like, wait, what is happening right now? No, really. She was in Florida, and she's like, there's a hurricane right now, but I got to do this.
That's totally how she rolls too.
That's how she rolls.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, it's cool. Let's figure it out. So she was talking about how you could build on social media. I had never heard this before. So I was like, okay. So I actually jumped into her coaching program because I was like, she's going to teach me how to do this. I'm going to learn. I'm going to be her star student. And while I was working full-time, raising these babies and the nooks and crannies in my day, just like what she said you could do, I would listen to her trainings and I would implement. So I started doing video marketing because she's like, go live every week. So I started going live every week, and she's like, get a Facebook group and get your tribe. And I got a Facebook group and got my tribe. So that spring, I launched the Gold Digger Girl, which is my brand. And I had a lot of people who were like, how are you growing this following, and how are you getting people coming to you? And so I started teaching people just in small group settings and workshops. And since then, I've grown it to almost 150,000 followers organically. I've hit multiple six figures. I quit my job a year ago, just past the $500,000 mark in revenue with my brand and my business. And, you know, built a huge team with my network marketing team, all through attraction marketing and just not any cold messaging, not any spamming. And I have 2 books that have hit Amazon's bestseller list. I'm speaking at Top Summit Conference coming up. I have a weekly podcast. So kind of have all the dream things and hit multiple streams of income, all because I took action, all because I found a coach, all because I literally, like you said about being consistent, I just didn't give up. So my story is not to impress you, but to impress upon you that if you really have something in your mind that you want, like for me, it was just to be home and be with my kids and not miss those things ever again and feel like a good mom, you can have it. You just have to get really clear on what you want and get your game plan together.
Well, and here's what I want to ask you, because so many people, they discredit themselves. And I was one of those people. I was one of those people that rolled my eyes and said no for 2 years because I had a job. I had a career, same as you, almost making $100,000 a year. I was like, I don't need any more money. And are they really doing that? What did your other, this is the question I want to ask you, because I came from being a hairstylist. So did your other career contribute, like did those skills contribute to this? Because a lot of times people think, well, I could never do that. I don't have any online skills. I don't have any social media skills. I don't have any e-commerce, or like I had nothing. So did you have any previous experience with this stuff?
Oh, no. I was a wellness director at a health club. So I did all the membership sales, nutrition. I was a personal trainer. So just really hands-on with people. So people skills for sure. And the cool thing is when people are like, I'm not a good salesperson, awesome. Because people who are good salespeople actually suck at this stuff. It's the people who are good at building relationships and really caring about people. All it is figuring out if somebody has a need and you have the solution. That's all you're doing. So in a health club setting, I worked at a gym. So people would come in wanting to lose weight. Oh, I had the solution. I'd go over what it was, tell them how much it is, say, hey, here's how we're going to help hold you accountable and put you on a plan. Do you want to get started? And they would say, yes. Otherwise, they wouldn't. Like it was no big deal. So those skills transferred over. Some of those things about just working with people, time management, juggling things. But I never, ever went on Facebook before. I didn't have an Instagram account. I didn't know how to go live. Are you kidding me? The first time I'm like, so now what do I do? Like, how do I make it go? I had no idea.
Exactly. And sometimes it's honestly ignorance on fire. Like you're just like, just tell me what to do. I'll do it. I'll figure it out along the way. And that's what's so cool. I remember being tough on myself about a year ago. I was at an event and I was talking to Lisa Grossman and I was just like, oh, like, I just don't know what to do to grow my income. And she's like, how much money are you making? I'm like, multiple 6 figures. And she's like, how much did you spend on your education? And did you make that money while you were being educated? And I said, yes. And she said, did you ever go to university? And I said, yes. And she's like, how much money did you spend at university? And I'm like, lots. And she's like, you are getting paid so much money to learn. You're getting paid, like, it's like an internship, but you determine how, like, you're not coming in at entry level or minimum wage. You're actually getting paid as much effort as you put in. And as soon as that light bulb went on, not only was I more grateful, but I was like, wow, I've only been in this, I'm a housewife, like stay-at-home mom, like, and I've only been in this industry for 3.5 years and I'm making multiple 6 figures. I didn't take 6 years of education. You know, you brushed over the fact that you have a PhD in it's holistic.
I have two of them because they go together. Yeah. You know, why not?
No big deal.
Holistic nutrition and natural health. Yeah. Cause we have a background of being really ill and stuff like that in family. So, yeah, it's expensive. All of those degrees is very expensive and time consuming, and you don't make your money back. Like when I got into it, they don't teach you how to make it into a business.
No, I've heard this so many times. Like you have all this background in nutrition, but like then now what do you do with it?
Yes. Yeah.
Where does that go? So that's what I love, especially about this industry, is that we're actually coaching women on how to build a business online, take all of the knowledge, all the people skills, all of their helping, like, because primarily women want to give and want to help, taking all of that nurturing and people networking skills that they already possess naturally and turning it into monetary funds that they are using their social media to explode. Like it blows my mind that we all have this opportunity, and you just have to say yes and kind of work through it and learn and go at the same time. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And it's for all the moms out there. Like one of the cool things about, I'm in the health and wellness industry like you are. And what's really neat is not only am I fulfilling my goal to help other moms to live a healthy lifestyle, because I'm very 80-20 rule, like 80% of the time, try to eat the best you can, but my kids still have goldfish and they're fine. You know what I mean? Like I've never been like super strict, or I like to have a healthy relationship with food. But the cool thing is I'm able to help people feel healthy and be the best mom they can and all that. But I also represent, a health and wellness industry. So there's social sharing of things you already love. So think about like, so I had used Lyft for the first time. I always use Uber, and it was like, oh, refer someone, you get $5. So I told my husband, I'm like, hey, can you refer me so I can get the $5? Like easy, boom,
do it.
App.
Yeah.
It took 2 seconds. So I got $5 off and moved on with my day. And all the time I'm like, hey, so people ask me stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a referral code for that. Here, let me shoot that over. Like that is so normal for women to help each other and just, hey girl, I got this thing. Yeah. Where'd you get those earrings? My friend Rhonda Madrid makes these. I have a promo code actually. Well, all my girlfriends are like, I want those earrings. So the cool thing is when you can find something that's aligned with what you're already doing, like, oh, you use, household items. Cool. Let's share it. It's not selling. It's just sharing something you love.
It's social sharing.
Yes. And you get paid to share something you love. So you're able to build this side hustle that can quickly grow into something big. You can stay at home mom and make great money, or you can leave your job like I did. But really it evens the playing ground there. You do not have to have any experience going into it. You just have to be willing to share on social media, which is so easy. You can do it from your cell phone. Like, and I'm not on my phone all day. I'm literally going.
Oh, yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah. I literally yesterday, Christina, I picked Addison up at 12:30 from school, and we did a photo shoot for our friend's resort, and picked up Elise at like 3 something. Day before that, we went to the park. I was able to make dinner. And then I spent time with my husband. We have a show we watched. And then I came to my office and I recorded some YouTube videos. I was like, can someone
This is what we do.
It's my freaking life. Like seriously. Yeah. And then I make great money doing something I love. So I'm not on my phone all the time. I'm actually with my family present more than I ever have been in my entire life.
And I think, when I first got into this industry, first of all, I didn't know what it was. Like I didn't know what network marketing was, direct sales, MLM. I had no idea what it was. It was just like, there are people online that are making more money than me and they're in their pajamas. So I need to know what they're doing, right? Like, I'm like, this is not computing because I'm working like 80 hours a week in the summer to make the kind of money that people are making, and I'm missing out on my life. So I was willing to have the freedom, but people might think that it's like this little home business thing that you do for a little bit of money, but it also, and it is that extra $200, $500 a month that you can make in 15-minute increments a couple of times a day. But there are also women like us that are motivated, driven, business-oriented, entrepreneurial women that come in and say, hey, wait a sec, I can build an empire here and be at home with my kids. You can have it all. And then on top of that, have your own personal freedom to have I want you to talk a little bit quickly about different streams of income, because I think 14 streams of income, and then we have the freedom to have our own personal freedom to do the things that we love and are passionate about, and also make a massive impact. And this is something that I talk about with TED Talks, because women need to know that when they're sitting at home and they're discrediting themselves, like, hey, I wish I could be that girl online. I wish I could be that girl that made an extra $500 a month, but I don't know anything. I didn't know anything. Like the fact that I'm using Zoom right now is a miracle. Like it's just
true.
all of a sudden I'm this person, and you pick up skills along the way, and all of a sudden you're a different person than you were a year ago, 2 years ago, 5. I'm a completely different person than I was 6 months ago.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
That growth is there. And for somebody that is craving, personal development is such a huge thing now. You hear people say it all the time, but actually becoming the person that makes an impact. And that's what we're attracting to the industry, is people like us. So do you want to talk a little bit more about your different streams of income?
Yeah. And so I love that you said that. So last 2 summers ago, the summer of 2017, I kind of had hit bottom with, the depression and all the things. And I was like, I really want to change my family tree. Like, I grew up with no money. And I was like, gosh, I feel like, and my parents, both have, mental illness and alcohol abuse on both sides. And I was like, I felt like I was going there a little bit. So I actually got a therapist. She's a life coach.
I love my therapist.
Yeah. Mine's on speed dial. I'm like, everybody should have one. So I did intensive therapy with her. And what we did is we reprogrammed my subconscious mind. So it wasn't like, oh, let's talk about when you were 5. Like, we legit were like, okay, what are the thoughts that keep coming up every day? I was like, well, I suck. I have no value to offer. I didn't do what I said I was going to do. Drank too much last night. Woke up with feeling like crap. So she was like, okay. And she taught me the skills to tell myself a new story every day, until 6 weeks later, I woke up one day and I thought, I
don't feel that way anymore.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to drink alcohol anymore. It doesn't serve me. And I realized I'm an all or none person. I can't go there. So it's been, oh my gosh, almost 2.5 years.
Wow. Congratulations.
But if you look back at my story, I'm a new person. Like, my mindset is so strong that if something negative happens or I get a hater or anything, I literally bounce back within 5 minutes. I'm like, they could say the worst thing about me. And I'm like, you know what I know? I know my truth. And I'm here on this earth to encourage other women and inspire them to build their dream lives, change their family tree. My daughters are so confident. They like walk around with little swag. And I'm like, where did this come from? They're the overflow of what I am putting into myself. So you think of the school of self-development on steroids, that is entrepreneurship. Like, it forces you to level up. It forces you to build a rock solid mindset. So I wanted to mention that because that is so huge of what you said. If you walk away with nothing else, if you're not feeling so awesome right now, get around people who do feel good, and we can help,
that will shift your mindset very quickly when you start. Yes. And I think that's when things start changing, when all of a sudden you're in a different circle and you're like, wait a second, these people I all admire, I want to be like, but I actually have a seat at the table. Yes. And when that clicks for you, when you recognize that there's something in you that belongs at that table, then you can't turn that off. And all of a sudden, all of these things take off. And the other thing that you said about your kids, that their confidence is overflowing with from what you have. Our kids don't listen to what we say. Like, let's be honest, they don't listen to everything they say, but they watch every little thing that we do. And I'm watching my 3.5-year-old be like, Mommy, I'm going to work. Mommy, I'm, like all this stuff. And I'm just like, wow, that's the kind of impact that you get to make as an entrepreneurial stay-at-home mom. You get to show your kids how to make an impact. You get to show your kids how to follow their passions, how to fail with grace, how to give others grace, how to problem solve. We get to teach our kids that, not a daycare. And that's something to me that is priceless. Like, you can't put a price tag on that.
No, you can't. No, I love that. So talking about the different streams of income. So what I did, I think that allowed me to do it is I just said, why not me? So, I mean, why not? So I had coaching experience with people in nutrition world and health coaching, and the principles apply. Like you said, what can you take from what you're doing now and transfer that over to a skill? And so I was like, I'm great at coaching people. So people were like, well, you coach us. So I launched a group coaching program for 6 weeks, coached like 50 women, amazing experience. And then they were like, well, you taught us social media. Will you teach us branding? And I did another coaching program with them. At the time I called them boot camps. And then I would do these workshops because people were like, how do you do Facebook Lives? How do you,
how do you set up LinkedIn? I totally bought that course.
LinkedIn. Yeah. Like, how do you go into LinkedIn and build connections with people and not spam them? So all these things I was just learning myself, because I can self-teach pretty well, or learn from someone else. I would just teach it. And so I just would notice, oh, wow, I can monetize a podcast. Oh, cool. And so people love podcasts. Like, why can't I self-produce a podcast? I'm not understanding why I can't. Because so many people have this idea. They're like, I want to start a podcast. And I'm like, then go start a podcast.
Then go do it.
Go do it. But the key is I didn't do it all at once. So I master one thing at a time and I layer. So, I launched apparel swag recently. I was delayed at the airport overnight and I'm like, I'm going to learn how to do swag. And so I did.
You're so funny.
I couldn't sleep. It was too cold. I didn't have a blanket. So I was like, I guess I'll just learn something. So I taught myself how I could drop ship and design my own stuff. And I have a girl that does all my logos and branding. And so I built out a swag shop and people loved it because my brand is the Gold Digger Girls. So they're gold diggers and they identify with that.
Love it.
But that's another stream of income. So we just, we bought a place in a ski town. So we're renting it out. And that's our most recent one is rental. But one thing at a time. But the cool thing is, the way I'm building my business, it's very, I don't want to say recession proof, to knock on wood, but it's, to me, it's the smartest thing I can do is to say, okay, you know, you've got network marketing going. Awesome. That's amazing. Okay. What other skill sets can you layer onto that? And that's why I love companies that support their people to personally brand themselves, because there are a lot of companies that don't. So make sure you check your policies and procedures, because unfortunately some of them have a scarcity mindset. But if you're with a company that's aligned and they get it, super smart, because they're going to attract people like me, influencers, you will be able to layer on different streams. I have a girl I'm coaching and she's launching a program where they're going to offer content every month. So she's really great at like Trello boards and organization and social media mindset. They're co-launching this thing January 1st and I've been coaching with her. Do you know how good it makes me feel to know that she said, saying yes to herself, that they have something to value and offer to the market, and now they're adding another stream to their network marketing.
Love it.
How cool is that? So I give you all permission. You're all influencers now. Congratulations. You have a dream in your heart. Go do it. Just say, you know what? I don't know, but it's figure outable.
Well, and the thing is that, you know what, becoming an influencer, like you will never, I don't know, I never saw myself that way. I just kept showing up consistently. Like that's the secret to becoming an influencer, is that I showed up consistently and I provided value to people.
Yes,
there's the golden nugget. That's how you do it. Like, you know, it's not difficult. So I think that once people realize that when, and you know, I was somebody that was in a company that with branding, I couldn't really do what I wanted to do. And I wanted multiple, you know, six figures. I wanted multiple streams of income. I wanted that recession proof that all of my eggs were not in one basket, because I think it's a smart way to diversify. I think, you know, we have rental income too. And I think having all those pieces of the puzzle are so important. So when you find a group of people that are doing it right, instead of sitting back and being like, I wish I could be them, or like a little, like, cause I used to be this way. I'll totally admit it. I used to see people and be like, whatever, like they're actually, you know, like,
yes, when you see them on social media, and
I was like, is that you know, is that really real? And then as soon as you realize that instead of judging others, you could be taking action and building that life for yourself, you get off your butt and you get moving, and you are enough. You have a voice. Everybody is good at something. Everybody has value. You just have to dial in what that is. And when you start getting around people like us, we're going to point it out for you and be like, you need to talk about this. You need to do that. Like, this is incredible. And we're going to highlight those pieces for you. And the collective energy rises. And that's what's so cool about being in an environment where everybody wants more and wants to support each other, and we're collaborating. And that's why I'm so grateful for you, Kimberly. Yes. You're just amazing at what you do. And I know that we all like give little pieces of the puzzle, but we all work so synergistically together, don't we?
Yeah. And it's an abundant mindset. You know, every time we can partner up, like you were just in the social media influencer summit, and a lot of people in my audience had never seen you before. And they were like, who is this Christina girl? Like, she really knows her stuff. It was cool afterwards too. People were like, after they heard you talk, cause you did color personalities, they're like, I just realized what I've been doing wrong this entire time in my network marketing business because of that. Like, gives me chills.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
Yeah, but think about that. If I hadn't taken the time to be okay with my audience being exposed to you, of course, but we're collaborating, right? Like, it makes sense for my audience to get exposed to you, because they might go, oh, she said something that I needed to hear today. And we're able to work together to serve more people that way. It really is abundant mindset, and it is synergy, like you said. And I think, y'all, if you're listening and you're like, I love this, come hang out with us. Like, there is room at our table for you. We love lifting other people up.
Well, thank you so much, Kimberly. I know how busy you are. Thank you for your time today. I so love you and appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you again really, really soon.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.